As I reclined quietly just below the balcony across the corridor just against the foot of the stairs in my old rocking chair, I felt the urge to accommodate the vague recollections of the past. The incomparably wide range of multicolored incidents that turned into revolutionary clockwork of a long, long day was now about to fade away into oblivion.
Could I have been an actor, for instance? But now it went another branch. I became a writer, script writer and author. Everything in this, for instance, was script written by me. The entire program.
The luminous and mystifying yellow of twilight sheds its last grim gaze across the precipitous chasms of earthland, which incipiently evokes that added touch of sweetness to the green verdure and the damp, fecund soil.
Story lining was written by me. It's the only copy. There's a 1, 2, 3. Yeah. These were special albums in the sense that they were not sold. They were kept rather like special items just for exhibition.
The dawn, the awakening, the stillness, apart from the wavering tide of yesteryear, is drifting on and on and on and on.
Spoken word and improvisation was so intrinsic to me that I needed a studio for the purposes of refinement.
It is nightfall, said I, and as of now it would appear as though I'll have to minimize the precarious efforts to discover the stairway to the stars. What can one hope to achieve amid the immeasurable heights of the unknown, but the moistening consolation that waters the immortal soul in a dry and thirsty land, where the bones of men who ostensibly have fought valiantly for the cause of freedom for over a year and a day, to say but the least, in the incalculable span of centuries and decades, leaving behind them the irrevocable footprints of chivalry, a fortress of consolation for the damsel in distress.
And I wanted to make a difference. All of my mind was just on the arts. Nothing like race and education appealed to me, or the Africanization or would-be of African-centered thinking had not yet become a part of my psyche. All I was concerned for at the time was music and drama.
And the widow whose dawn is now about to begin in the rich and savory solemnity of Venus, the goddess of beauty, whose shimmering confettis of tantalizing rainfall emit slowly from paradise like dewdrops from a red, red rose that newly sprang in June.
To me, this is what I looked like during the 1960s. And standing beside me would be Vina Case. At that time, she was changed her name because of marriage. Became Vina Winter, because Winston Winter, you can see here, he was the treasurer of the organization at the time. And you can see two English faces. At the time there were students at Nottingham University, and we sort of had good relations with them. The Students' Association used to merge with them, so we had good friendly relations with Nottingham University. And this man was His name is Mr. Hines. He was assistant treasurer. The woman at the end is Victoria Case. She is sister to Vina. Or Milton Crosdale is the third face we're looking at. He is the creator of the idea of the Nottingham West Indian Students' Union, and then its name was updated, Nottingham West Indian Students Association. He started meetings within the confines of his own house. Then we had access to the YMCA, as well as a building on Shakespeare Street called the Talk H. We were beginning to have access to public buildings, but the West Indian Students Association started within his own house at Wellington Villas, Canning Circus. All who came through those doors at that day and time, they have made something beautiful of their lives. The reason I thought that is bound up in the question you're asking me, why the West Indian Students Association fell, it just disintegrated. Why? Because students were more and more getting university places. Neville Ballin, Glasgow, because he wanted to become a doctor. And the Mead brothers, Horace, London, because he'd far excelled his A-levels and he became a university place. And a number of persons, and Lee Arboyne at the time, she and John Ray were ex-A-level students. Well, John Ray wanted to become a teacher, hence the teaching training college at Clifton at that time. And Lee Arboyne went to what was called Nottingham Poly, to which she blossomed and graduated as a teacher. But they both were part and parcel of the experience, the success. I myself have blossomed into becoming an author, a self-published author, setting up a publishing company which existed for about 10 years.
And after June comes the autumn and winter, then spring and summer again, which reiterates the old story, that incandescent revolutionary clockwork of the long, long day still goes on and on and on and on.